I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Jen Hemphill. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. It's a great pleasure to connect with you. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am in the Washington, D.C. area.
All right. And which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time?
I would say my ability to help women increase their financial confidence and really being able to connect. So that comes from being able to connect with them in a genuine way. And also probably because of my podcast, Her Money Matters.
Podcast, yes, podcast, yeah. You're definitely a podcaster that is doing some amazing things, right? Got to listen to your podcast. Wow, you're like all over your episode. Well, 12 is our favorite number here, right? So when I saw it be like 122, I was like, yes, there's the 12. Yes, great podcast. I'm joking.
So funny. Well, you are doing amazing things yourself.
Yeah, but it's definitely two different arenas, right? So, yes, I am doing something amazing with this big audacious goal, but what you've done by crossing 100 to 122 now, that is huge in the podcasting community. So, well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So, who did you learn the skills of? Let's do the skills of money from first.
Really, from parents, right? My family, from observing people as well. I love observing people. So it's been family, observing people, and mentors. So basically with my family, I learned some basic money skills in terms of budgeting and not taking out credit cards or not really going into debt with credit cards. But I really learned along the way that it was much more than that, that those basic money skills are good in terms of how to save, how to invest, how to budget, and not getting into debt. But there was so much more to that in terms of managing your money. And that was also came your mindset, how you grew up around money, how you what you perceive, what you experience had really a bigger impact on me that I didn't realize that until I was already grown up. And I realized that even though I had these basic money skills, there were some other skills in terms of really being aware of those mindset of the money stories that I grew up with that have affected the relationship that I have with money and how I manage money. So in ways it kept me stuck for a while, even though I was a good money manager. There are some other areas that I was stuck on.
Pretty fascinating how it works when you go through a struggle and how it then helps other people, if you decide to, of course, help other people. But it's fascinating how it helps, right? The pain.
Absolutely.
So you've done this. Why will you continue, Jen? Why will you continue to repeat the skill of helping others with their money?
Because I'm on a mission to really help increase the financial confidence of those professional women out there that are smart with their money, but are lacking some belief in themselves. So time and time again with the clients that I help, what I see is they know what they need to do. And they're doing some of those things right, but they're lacking that confidence. So it's a matter of me coming in and helping them, showing them that they are doing good things, because it's that lack of confidence that is not allowing them to move forward. So that's where I come in to help them, show them what they're doing right, and help them to continue to do what they're doing right. And then just help them tweak some of those things that maybe they need a little more help on.
Where's the best place for someone that resonates with everything that you've just said to connect with you?
On my podcast, Her Money Matters. On that podcast, I do a combination of interviews where I interview women that are just regular women to experts in the fields as well. And we talk about money stories, because the whole premise of the podcast is to get you, again, increase that financial confidence, to help you have more money conversations, because money is such a taboo topic, right? And so I introduce you to other women that have just stories like you. So that way you're able to connect, to resonate with something that they're doing, maybe and how they're managing their money, or some skills that they learned that maybe you didn't know of, or you're going to have some aha moments. And I also do solo episodes where I just teach some of the skills, some of the questions that I get from my audience.
Amazing. Tell us one other thing, Jen, that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Working out. The gym and I are friends.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel fantastic. It's a habit, honestly, that I started probably towards the end of my high school years. And it's something that I've continued. So for me, it's like brushing my teeth. It's like taking a bath. It's part of my daily routine. Granted, I don't work out every single day, but I do some sort of activity on a daily basis. But it just helps me really feel good. It helps me feel focused and ready for anything, because it allows you, with working out, sometimes you are able to take your strength and abilities to new levels, which is a testament to what you can do with other things in your life, right?
Yeah, it's fascinating how they connect. Like, I've seen that where an individual gets intentional with their money, and all of a sudden, then they're intentional about their health and their wellness. It's fascinating how that works. I think I've seen it with goals as well. Like, you set out to get a goal, and then before you know it, it's like other parts of your life then start to come into alignment with what's best for you. Pretty amazing stuff. What would you suggest to someone that's listening that they do that by being, again, the word intentional being used, but being intentional with their health?
Right. It's something that you do for you. When you take care of you, you take care of all of you, your physical health, your mental health. And when you're able to do that, you're able to make better decisions in life, to include money decisions. Because when we're not taking care of ourselves, we are lacking that bandwidth, right? We have, on a daily basis, if you have kids, you have to take your kids here, you have to cook, you have to, if you're running a business, take care of business. So there's only so much bandwidth that we have. And if we don't take care of that bandwidth, if we don't take care of us, it fogs up our brain, right? It fogs up our brain, and it doesn't allow us to really make good decisions. And when you're taking care of yourself, like exercise, it really alleviates or gives you more bandwidth, if you will.
Love it. Amazing audience. We are live with Jen Hemphill. Again, you can connect with her via her podcast, which is Her Money Matters. Again, Her Money Matters. Jen, let's switch gears for a moment now. Before I do that, what is Her Money Matters in Spanish?
Su dinero importa.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, she mixes up Spanish on the podcast, which I love too as well. Yeah, I have a passion for learning Spanish, so I think, and I love the idea of money. So even though it's Her Money Matters, I may jump in there for a bit now and then. Is that okay?
Hey, absolutely. His money matters too.
Love it too. Well, Jen, let's switch gears for a moment and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Jen, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I would have to say it was my first trip to the United States of America. Now, I was born in Colombia, even though I've been in the States for a long time, but my father is American. So growing up in Colombia, I grew up with a father that was considered a gringo. And so I had the opportunity to, I knew that the United States, the thing of snow, the thing of fall, because in Bogota, there's no seasons, or it's just rainy or it's sunny. And so I was never exposed to that. So I was excited about the snow and the fall and these things that were just completely strange to me. So that's really my first memory, or the earliest childhood memory.
That's cool. How old do you think you were?
I was 2 or 3 years old.
Wow. Why do you think this memory is so clear? What in it do you connect to who you are now?
Well, I think it was, as I mentioned, my dad being American and in Colombia at that time. I'm aging myself, but he stuck out. now I don't think he would stick out as much, but being in Colombia at that time, someone that was 6 foot tall, that was pale, that was a redhead, freckles, that was not really, you would know he is not from Colombia, at least at that time frame. So I knew he was different, right, to what people were used to seeing. But I knew, so it was always the thought of going to where he was from really attracted me. And being able to really get to know family on that side, right? Because we were living in Colombia, so we at that time hadn't met the grandparents, cousins, and aunts and uncles on that side.
That's amazing. All right. Well, I think it is intriguing how it connects to who you are and your confidence and sticking out. In being the weird one, if you would. Weird being the good thing, yeah? Especially with the finances, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm saying weird, my apologies. Weird right now means so much, right? But there's a book called Weird by Craig Groeschel, because normal isn't fun anymore. But it just speaks to how uniqueness is important. But let's use uniqueness. It speaks to your uniqueness, because in the Her Money Matters, I think you're definitely in the minority for those that are being, again, I'm using the word intentional with their money, right? So to just see the way that you are sticking out now with what you're bringing to main media, if you would, it's just amazing, right? Just like the gringo, right? You are helping so many other women understand that their money matters.
Thank you. And it's funny that you bring that to light, because even though I always felt different, I always also strive to be unique and different. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
I always felt different, but I always pride myself on just being different. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
It's cool. If we fast forwarded to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Aging myself here. Paula Abdul, that song Straight Up. It was like, straight up now tell me, do you want to love me forever? Oh. Okay, a song here for you.
Here we go. Live.
My kids would kill me.
Got it. We got it. They're going to be like, Mommy, no, you sang.
Well, I'm banned. I'm banned from my house from singing, so don't tell them.
Well, I love the fact that you remained in your uniqueness. Well, Jen, we have arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Jen?
Yes, absolutely.
Jen, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, my boys.
Are you married? How many? All right, let me go. Are you married?
Yes.
How many boys do you have?
2.
All right. Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8? All right.
Yes, guilty.
If you, Jen, had to share with us a statement that sums up who you are, your own unique, real statement, what would you say that is?
I would say to really embrace who you are and own the gifts that you have, to be aware of those gifts and own them, because they're unique to you. You are able to share them with the world and help someone.
Love it. Jen Hemphill, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Sure. Well, basically, since I'm a money gal, I just want to share that money doesn't have to be scary. We're the ones that make it scary for ourselves, right? And so it's just really to get clear on your money story, how you grew up around money, reflect on those things to see if you're continuing that cycle. And because it's up to you to really put that fear aside to be able to move forward in your money journey. And if you're interested, as I know you mentioned, listen to my podcast, Her Money Matters, because it'll definitely motivate you, inspire you. The guests that I have there are fantastic. And I also have a book that, if you're interested in, this called Her Money Matters, The Hidden Truths from Traditional Financial Advice. And you can check that out over at jenhemphill.com/book.
Love it. Jen Hemphill, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mounting pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.